Well, it's a new day with new impossibilities. So today I'm in my shed. I've brought along the heat exchanger that I've removed from the Yanmar engine in my sailboat. And today we're gonna take this completely apart because I need to clean the heat exchanging tube, and there is a lot of corrosion going on, so I want to take it completely apart and clean it up, replace all the rusty bolts, and yeah, paint it, I guess, so it doesn't rust anymore. So yeah, we can have a look, and I can show you the problems that we are going to encounter today. It's going to be a few. So around the exhaust elbow you can see there is a lot of rust going on because of the leakage there was from this hose that we checked out earlier. So we need to take care of all of this rust. So the exhaust elbow is going to come off, and here all the bolts seems to be in, yeah, it's not good shape, but they're in some kind of shape at least. On the underside here, these 4 bolts on this side is perfectly fine, but the 2 bolts here and here, they're not so good. So I'm not sure if that's gonna work out fine. Maybe I'll break them, maybe they will come out, so we'll see what happens. And on the other end, these bolts has never been undone on this part ever, I guess, and the 2 on top is not too bad. I think this one, here it is a nut. I think it should be a bolt, so I'm not sure what's happened here. I don't know, we're going to check that out later on. But if we look at the 2 lower ones, this one, it's not much left of it, so I don't think we're going to be able to get that one out. And this one, there is nothing left. It's just a rounded shape. So that one is definitely going to have to be grinded off, and then we have to extrude the bolt when this cap has been removed. So yeah, and then we're going to take out the heat exchanger tube, and we're gonna see what that looks like. So yeah, we're gonna see what we find. To try to get out these bolts, I'm gonna hook up the air compressor and use some more professional tools to get stuff out, because I guess it's a bit stuck. So I'm just gonna put the camera on time lapse. I'm gonna take everything apart, and then we'll have a look at it. Just checked out the time lapse, and well, it didn't go that quick in reality. I can assure you that. I changed the timing on my time lapse from now on. I was a bit too quick. So I've taken everything off, and it's gone a little bit better than expected, and a little bit worse than I was hoping for. But however, that's life. It's only 1 bolt that's broken, except the 2 bolts that are still left in here, which I have to probably grind off. So I'm going to talk you through what I did and how I did it. So if you watch the time lapse again a few hundred times, I guess you might be able to see all the stuff that I was talking about. But the bolts on the exhaust elbow, one of the bolts broke. None of the bolts came out with a 12mm tool. That's the right tool for these bolts. it was just turning on the head of the bolt. There was not enough material left. So what I ended up doing was using 7/16 inch imperial tool, and that is about 11 point a little bit millimeters. So yeah, and I was a bit too tight, so I used a big old trusty sledgehammer to knock this imperial pipe onto the rusty heads of the bolts, and 3 of them came out, 1 snapped. And this cover on the underside of the heat exchanger, all the bolts came out. 4 of them I could use the specified 12mm tool, but on 2 of the bolts, that was the most rusted bolts, I had to hammer on the 7/16 imperial socket. So yeah, I also removed this lid where the raw water comes out and goes into the exhaust elbow. Sits down here like this, upside down everything now, but this is 10mm head on these bolts, and that all went well except from this one. Was very rusty. So on that one I used a 9mm socket. I just hammered it on, just like on the rest of them. And that was not it. This is it. And as you can see, this is a multi-point socket with, yeah, I guess 12 points instead of the normal six corners. This one has 12, so it's easier to hammer onto a head of a screw that's slightly too big. So that's the same with the 7/16 tool. It's also 12 corners in that tool as well, so in that socket. Last part to take off is this lid, and then we have to bring out the angle grinder, I guess. So, and that is something I have to do outside, and it's pitch black outside, so I'm not gonna try to film that. But as you can see, there's not much left of these 2 bolts. I've grinded off the heads of these 2 screws, and now I'm going to show you what it looks like. You can see the difference in color in the metal here. I tried to not go too deep into the bronze metal that this part is made of. See, it's kind of yellowish. So now we're gonna give it, this part, this lid, a small tap, and it should try to come off. Seems like this could be a small edge that I perhaps could get the screwdriver to grab onto. So you can see that on this side there is a small edge here now, and also on this side It is starting to form, so it's coming out. Just gonna try and pry a knife down into this small crack. Old rusty knife. And so we're getting more of an opening. Put the camera on the stand. Now it's working its way out. Yep. Here we go. Like that. Oy. As you can see, here we have some more gunk. Some marine life trying to get into the system. So these are the things you need to get out when you inspect this tube, and you should do this quite regularly, quite often, because you don't want these tubes to get clogged up. So this one is for this small tab here. It's going in there because that fixes the tube in orientation to this shape of the heat exchanger lid. So here you can see the rubber sealing ring that's stuck to this lid. So now I'm going to clean everything. I'm going to just pull this tube out. Oh yeah. So this is what it looks like. So it's an aluminium housing that forces the fresh water to circulate tightly in between all these tubes, as you can see inside here. All of these tubes. So salt water passes through the tubes, the fresh water is all around the rest of it, and it's guided through these openings as well. So that's not a very tight fit, but the majority of the fluid will be forced into this hole and exit this one. So yeah, so if we put this aside and have a look inside the heat exchanger, as you can see, it's just a long hole for the fresh water to circulate in. And I'm going to try and clean this up as best I can, because it is a little bit rusty, but it's not too bad. So I think we're going to be able to get this thing working again properly. And I'm going to try to remove this. You can see this, when the head is gone, you can just turn it out by hand. So that's good. Same with this one. Didn't need any tools to get it off, get it out. So that's great. So then there's just one problem left, and that is this one. And this one I cannot turn by hand because it is probably rusted all the way in. As you can see on the threads here, I don't know if you can pick it up on camera, but it's a bit of rust, especially on this one, a little bit on this one. This one is not too bad. So yeah, we're gonna clean everything up as best we can and paint it and put everything back together.